Hi, and welcome to Jolt TV. I'm Tyler Martin-Olich, Film Commissioner for Hillsborough County and the City of Tampa. You may have seen today's guest opposite actor Paul Reiser in Season 2 of the breakout Netflix hit Stranger Things. But before traveling to the Upside Down, our guest acted and directed dozens of features, short films, and commercials. His film 100 Tears was recently named among the top cult horror films of all time by iHorror.
On Halloween night, Will saw a sort of shadow. Maybe all of this is happening for a reason.
These are not nightmares. It's happening. And it all leads back to here.
This thing.
You said it was all in his head. And what have you done? Nothing. What is wrong with my boy?
I don't understand. 11 what? She always did. It's like it's reaching into Hawkins. If anyone knows how to destroy this thing, it's Will.
Oh my God.
Don't you think it's weird how we only seem to hang out when the world's about to end?
It's not like it was before. It's grown.
It's Judgment Day. Which is why we need as much help as we can get. Is anyone there? Anyone!
You should go now. It's almost here.
You still have that bat?
Bat? What bat?
One with the nails.
It's my pleasure to welcome Joe Davison.
Hello, sir.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So I wanted you to come in today and talk specifically because you wear so many hats on a film set. You're an actor, you're a director, screenwriter, author. You've done so many different things. So often we get sort of pigeonholed in a certain area, and you seem to just have the malleability to move anywhere on a film set, which I find very impressive. But before we get into the technical stuff, I want to talk a little bit just about your experiences growing up in Florida and how that may or may not have influenced where you are today.
Being born and raised in Florida, I grew up in Ocala, which is back then, I graduated in 1994 to give people's perspective. Back then it was rural. It was country folks. I worked in horse farms and shoveled, cow manure as a job and stuff. But I don't think that really got me where I wanted to be as a filmmaker, because that didn't come into play until after I was out of high school. What really got me was I've always been a horror fan. Right.
Yeah. Now, moving away from screenwriting, but putting yourself in the director's role, is it your job as the director to manage the expectations of the audience and how much information they know, how you lead them through the scene, or do you just focus on the scene itself and hope that translates somehow to the audience?
So, yeah, is it my job to understand or give some sort of prelude to the audience that they need to know everything? And I think it is. I think it's the writer and the director's job to show that this is all the characters, this is what's happening, and they need to kind of like start guessing on what the next thing is. And hopefully you're not so blatant that they're like, oh, it's this dude. This guy's the killer, man. You know? You want to keep some things away from them, but it is your job. It's your job to let... You want to entertain them, and they need to relax and eat their popcorn and watch the movie, and you don't want them to have to really think too hard.
Yeah. So you are also not only a director, but you're also an actor, and a very good one. How do you both act and direct at the same time on the set? And do you think that is a bonus, or does that actually hurt one or the other? Are you able to do both well?
It's, man, you know, I love acting. I really do, man. I love directing. I think but what really ties that in together is the improv again. Mm-hmm. It's improv, man, because you have to be able to stand behind the camera and watch your actors act and say, okay, guys, that was great, okay. And then you're like, okay, I got to walk in. I'm going to walk into this scene, and I'm going to give my lines to you guys, and we're going to do this. But then you really have to rely on your DP and your crew. Your crew has to understand that, you know, that you were doing both these things, and that when you're in front of the camera, you're 100% reliant on what the DP is doing to watch you. And then you go and watch playback, and if it's what you want. What's hard is making your own adjustments. Mm-hmm. Watching yourself in the scene that you just directed, you have to be very cautious of what it was your character was doing and the mannerisms. Would he do that? Did you do that before? And sometimes you might forget that stuff because you're also directing, and on independent films that, you know, we make low-end films, man.
So let's transition a little bit more to acting and getting away from your role as a director, and we'll talk directly to, you know, you were just in season 2 of Stranger Things.
Right.
You're on a set that has infinitely more resources than any film that we've ever been a part of.
Ever.
How is it different listening to someone else direct you?
Educational, you know. You go in. I went in Stranger Things specifically, just like a child. You know, I was like a big baby.
Were you a fan of the series before getting approached?
Yeah,
season 2?
I had just binged it. I binged it 2-3 days before Amy, my agent, called me and said, hey, you have an audition for this show called Stranger Things. And I was like, dude, I just watched that. And I think it was very nostalgic for a lot of people because it was the 80s. And, you know, that's where we're from, man. Goonies and The Explorers. And that's what it reminded me of. And I think that's why I was drawn to it. Did that answer your question?
It absolutely did.
It was amazing. Paul Reiser I became friends with Paul Reiser, and because, you know, we were on set several days, 12 hours a day, you know, and he was someone I idolized.
Well, thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, man.
You are an inspiration to so many people here in town. You're one of the hardest working people I know. You're always out there just grinding, trying to find the next project.
Dude, I got it. I'm like a shark, man. If you don't, you're going to die.
Also true, and I think that's for a lot of industries, but certainly for film. And more importantly, I think you are on the upswing. You've had such an amazing last couple of months and years. I only see bright things in the future.
Man, I hope, man. I could end up like, you know, who knows?
Hopefully a star, and you are in my book. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Tyler Martin-Olich, Film Commissioner for Hillsborough County. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Jolt TV. We have more on the way, and we hope that you will continue to tune in and learn a little bit about different people in our area that are doing amazing things in film. Thank you.